komo. Welcome to my channel, Mo'o Musings. This video provides a little bit about me and my why for this channel. I was born and raised on Oahu. My family is ancestrally from Maui. I am Kanaka, Maohi, Japanese, and white. I grew up attending public school. I realized very quickly growing up that there is a lacking curriculum in public schools when it comes to history. This ties into my why later. I also grew up going to a lot of libraries, sometimes as frequently as every day after school. And I participated in all the summer reading programs I possibly could. That included Barnes & Noble, where you read 8 to 10 books and you got a free book. And then at the library, it was usually like you would do the summer reading program, and at the end of every week, you got a office supply, like gadget or something like that. Post-college, I started to read more and more books for myself. About 5 years ago, on a visit home, I started collecting more books on the history of Hawaii, my history, because they're sometimes hard to come by or out of print. A perfect example of an important book that's out of print is Native Land and Foreign Desires by Lilikala Kame'eleihiwa. I bought it for around $100 at a used bookstore on Oahu, and I will never regret it. This book is the first detailed analysis of the mahele from a contemporary Hawaiian perspective. Using Hawaiian language sources, the author analyzes the traditional Hawaiian relationship between spiritual and political to the land. She traces the changes in that relationship through Christian conversion and American colonization to explain how Hawaiian land was wrongfully taken from chiefs as well as commoners. Bishop Museum Press does have an ebook available if you do want to check it out. Anyway, I started collecting as many indigenously written history books as I could. That included history not taught in our public schools, books important for current and future generations of readers. As my book collection grew, I've started to branch out into various history books and fiction I saw myself reading again and again. On this channel, I strive to provide reviews and recommendations for readers on nonfiction, mainly histories I didn't learn in public school, and fiction written by BIPOC authors. For fiction, I try different genres regularly, but have found so far that I really enjoy fantasy, including dark academia, historical fiction, mystery, and gothic horror. I believe engaging with a text can include criticism. I just ask you keep things respectful in the comments. If me talking about the history of Hawaii piqued your interest, I'll start off with a few recommendations. Please note, I am gearing this towards individuals who know very little about the history of Hawaii. First book is Detours, a Decolonial Guide to Hawaii, edited by Hokulani, Aikau, and Vernadette, Vicuña, Gonzalez. Before I describe the rest of this book, I'll add a little more context about me. I've spent 7.5 years on the East Coast and 4 years on the West Coast. I've been confronted with the lies the world has been told about Hawaii regularly. When I worked in downtown Honolulu and Waikiki, I was asked by customers to give them tours on my day off because isn't that the aloha spirit, I was told. When I attended university on the East Coast, I was asked, how was it to grow up without internet and cable? And told, oh, I didn't know there were Native people in Hawaii. When I bartended on weekends outside of my 9-to-5 job on the East Coast, I was told by a customer the corals in Hawaii weren't as vibrant as they wanted. And I often avoid telling people where I'm from because if I had $1 for every Hawaii vacation story I've had to listen to, I would probably have a couple of $1,000s. Don't get me wrong, I am proud and thankful for where I come from, and I have so much gratitude for my ancestors' fights to remain on our homeland, but having to constantly explain my existence and reminded that my homeland is often seen as a tourist destination is exasperating. So with this said, the book Detours seeks to dispel the lies the world is told about Hawaii. The postcard pictures, hula dancers, luau's, sun, surf, and ocean, because there is more to Hawaii than this. The next book, Dismembering Lahui, A History of the Hawaiian Nation of 1887 by Jonathan K. Kamakawiwo'ole, Osorio, investigates how Western law and white landowners, businessmen, hooked their claws into Hawaii and changed the course of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Dismembering Lahui tells the gripping story of one nation's gradual loss of political control despite the often heroic efforts by its people to retain it. More importantly, it is the first book written by a Native Hawaiian to explore fully the complexity of Hawaiian nationhood and identity in a historical context. The third and last recommendation for this video, From a Native Daughter, Colonialism and Sovereignty in Hawaii by Dr. Haunani-Kay Trask, first published in 1993, provides a well-reasoned attack against the rampant abuse of Native Hawaiian rights, institutional racism, and gender discrimination. I'll be doing a reread of all of these in 2025 to provide long reviews for each. So subscribe if you'd like to see those or other books from the genres I mentioned. Mahui.